I tell you, this is like the beginning of a beautiful friendship. I swear. But so many people are like already turning on it. They're already saying, oh, okay, all's forgiven, Disney. Don't give this up. Don't give this up. We're knocking on the door of serious class solidarity in this country. I swear. It's like it takes a late night hack TV show host, which he was. He was a hack. I've been watching Jimmy Kimmel since the Loveline days. I've been watching him since the Man Show back in the day. Just a milquetoast comedian. Just kind of a, just a fuddy-duddy. It was never about Kimmel. It was about the meddling behind the scenes, which this administration is doing. This administration is doing it. They're meddling in all kinds of other stuff. But when it came to TV, that's where we had to put our foot down, didn't we? We had to put our foot down when it came to TV. It's really interesting. It's like when it directly affects that, everyone rises up. When it's memeable, when it's amenable to certain other conglomerates, like Disney is like they're sharks in the water, and whenever one shark gets sick, it's like they eat the sick shark. They'd like kill it. And that, I swear that's what's going on. Like Disney is this huge thing, and it seems insurmountable. But 3 days, like this little boycott, a little boycott. It was big in terms of like numbers, but they already capitulated. Just like they capitulated to Trump and his FCC chair by saying we can do it the easy way or the hard way, which is fucking ridiculous. Like that is so they're so brazen. They're getting a little cocky already in their first year in power. That's what drives me insane. But anyway, it kills me that people are just so ready to, oh well, all's forgiven. It's been 3 days. It's been 3-4 days. Do not capitulate. Do not bend over and just say, well, all's forgiven. This was his first shot. The Colbert thing was like kind of written off, and people hadn't quite forgotten about it, but they had accepted it. The Kimmel thing is like it burned really hot and really bright for 3 days, and I'm afraid that people are just going to go back to, oh, well, all's forgiven. He's back on the air. I feel like people are just going to, they're going to look at this like a win and then go back to sleep, if that makes sense. I really think that's going to occur, which is frustrating because I do think that this is like a sign that class solidarity is within reach, if that makes sense. Like, people can actually elicit change with their dollar, but the problem is following through on that change, following through on a boycott, following through on a strike, if that makes sense. That's what it takes. It isn't just like, well, I canceled Hulu. Okay, I did my job. It was great to see. It was great to see that everyone canceled Hulu and they canceled Disney Plus and they canceled ESPN. But how long will that last? That is going to be the thing that differentiates this boycott from all the boycotts that have come and gone. Just in my lifetime. I'm only 38. All the boycotts that have come and gone, and people forget about why they were boycotts in the first place. This is a situation where not only has the president informed this, the president he's one man, but he has all these influences under him that will go and do his bidding. They're all tied up with this whole Project 2025 nonsense. That's the whole thing. So it's not really about Kimmel. It's not really about late night TV. It's not even really about comedy. It's about increasingly narrowing the bandwidth, or the, not the Overton window really, but the narrow band of acceptable speech, and that includes kind of saying shit that pisses the president off. He wants to say, well, that's not good. It's got nothing to do with CK. It's got nothing to do with CK. Nothing. That's small potatoes. That's a whole different animal than what the president is trying to do with his cronies right now. Because if this is allowed to go on, if this is allowed to be tolerated, if this is allowed to be encouraged, by the viewing public, then what's to stop them? And it is encouraging to see that people can be mobilized. It just sucks that it had to be behind this cause because it's so fickle. I'd love to see this kind of rally come behind our involvement in the Middle East, the terrible situation that we have in terms of healthcare in this country, the terrible situation we have in terms of early child care, and this turn towards anti-intellectualism. And I'm not the smartest guy in the shed. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm not. But I know enough to trust the experts, and I know enough to know that we're heading in a weird spot, but this was like a bright little, like we were just like, oh, we got over it. Like we passed this first little test. We passed this test. I do appreciate that. And it, another thing that was great about it, it crossed socioeconomic borders. It crossed races. It crossed all kinds of things that normally are used to divide us. It crossed all of those criteria, and people came together and they turned it over in 2 days. In 2 days, over the course of a weekend, you changed the entire course of the biggest entertainment conglomerate in the world. In 2 days. Just imagine if if we could all come together and do that for something that we all cared about, that we could agree on. I'm not saying policy. I mean the idea behind it. The idea. This was a situation where the free speech advocates successfully led a charge not only against the administration, but against people that would attack the idea of infringement of free speech on publicly, publicly available airways. I don't know how to put it. Ever since the Telecommunications Act in 1996, it's all weird. We have these affiliates that are all owned by megacorps like Sinclair and Nexstar, which I worked for Sinclair. I worked for them for 2 years. I worked at KTVL here in Medford, that literally is just a right-wing think tank, basically. Not even a think tank. It's a right-wing conglomerate that buys up these local stations and influences their content. That's it. That's what they do. And they make money at it. And the fact that people actually rose up and they're blaming Disney, it's part of a bigger media environment, if that makes sense. But a company or a corporation as big as Disney can have huge influence even on their affiliates and the companies that control those affiliates. And that's where this whole thing worked. It worked. As we can see, I'll bring this up real quick. Oh, come on. What's going on here? What's going on? Of course. This Stream Deck, this is a piece of shit. This thing sucks. Okay, here we go. Sinclair ABC stations backpedal on replacing Jimmy Kimmel Show with Charlie Kirk special. This is from USA Today. Came out yesterday. Oh no. Sacramento police confirmed 3 gunshots were fired at local ABC station amid nationwide outrage. Great. Oh, great. We got the Trumpers going crazy again. That's just wonderful. Oh no. What is happening? There we go. Okay. Sinclair's ABC station backtracked on plans to replace Jimmy Kimmel's slot with a special on Charlie Kirk. So we already know that. So this is already old news. Tonight, Sinclair will continue to air ABC network programming as scheduled in the late night time period, the company announced on X. The Charlie Kirk special will be instead be available on nationwide the national news desk. That's what they did to KTVO, where I live. They put on the national news desks, which is just leans right, ensuring viewers can continue to enjoy ABC programming while also providing full access to the special online. So they backpedaled. Look at this fuddy-duddy. Look at this stooge. This is like this. The truth is stranger than fiction. It really is. Like, I've always thought that he was just totally milquetoast and just whatever. And like, you can scream to the high heavens about Trump like morning, noon, and night. It's just so funny that people are so quick to jump on him. If he didn't have a voice, why did people freak the fuck out over him being canceled? We saw that. People loved that he was canceled over some milquetoast jokes. Milquetoast jokes, like he always has. That's why he's not that interesting. Jimmy Kimmel is not that interesting. He is a milquetoast host. He has a good rapport with everyone in Hollywood. That's why everyone flipped on Disney so quickly. But it's just interesting to see that this guy is like the paragon of free speech now. Overnight. The paragon. Like, oh, it's unbelievable. It really is stranger than fiction. And good for him. You know, he's making $16 million a year on ABC. Good for him. That's like, he's got a good agent. He sells ads. He does his show. It's whatever. This is the stupidest hill for Disney and the affiliates to die on. That's so funny because now Disney is such in the public eye and not in a good way. Like, if they would have just waited a few months and let it go and then said, you know what? After 23, 22 years, we're just going to we're going to pass the torch. We're going to get a new host, a younger host. We're going to get a Gen Z host. No one would have batted a fucking eye. No one would have batted a fucking eye if he would have been replaced any other time. And no doubt in my fucking mind that if they would have just said, you know what, the ratings aren't hurting, we're going in a new direction, we're going towards a Gen Z audience. Sorry, Jimmy, you know, we'll give you the later slot. We'll put you in there against, you know, Carson Daly's old slot. Fine. But no, they had to do this. They had to capitulate ahead of time, and the timing was what killed Bob Iger specifically. Not necessarily, like, Disney's so huge that it'll never go away. But it's just so funny that he's the guy. This is the guy. Man, it just blows my mind. It's got nothing to do with Kirk. I'm not even addressing Kirk in this whole thing. This is a comedy of errors for one of the biggest companies in the world. And now oh my God. It's already. He wasn't even making fun of CK. He was making fun of DJT. It's so insane. It's so insane. Like, legitimately. What did he say? Like, no one even knows what he says. They all go based on the headlines. You know? Let's look it up real quick. Let's see. Disney says Kimmel will return on Tuesday. So it's like, okay, just return. Just act like literally, like the funniest thing he could do is just act like it never happened. Just act like it never happened. Just like, yeah, good to see you guys again. Dude's making $16 million a year. And credit to the working class and the poor people that, sign up for Hulu and Disney Plus. I was a Hulu subscriber. Love that Alien series. Love It's Always Sunny. Love it, man. So it kills me. All the old 20th Century Fox FX shows, they're all under Disney now. It's just so funny. Disney announced Jimmy Kimmel Live will resume airing on Tuesday, ending Kimmel's short-lived suspension following comments the host made. Whatever. It was, man. They go down these rabbit holes. They can't even support them. In a statement released Monday, Disney said it suspended Kimmel last week to avoid inflaming a tense situation. Sounds like it's a pretty tense situation right now. Having like a third of your subscribers quit on you. Last Wednesday, we made the decision to suspend production on the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Ill-timed and thus insensitive. Bruh. Good for MSN. They actually contextualized it with the FCC chairman saying, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. It's compelled speech. It's against the First Amendment. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. He's going in the history books. Jimmy Kimmel is going in the history books now because a bunch of stuffed suits capitulated to a whiny little bitch of a president. That's why Jimmy Kimmel will be in the history books now. He will be more important to history than Johnny Carson was. He will be more important to history than David Letterman was. Unbelievable. And I'm speaking as a millennial, who actually kind of not Letterman. I never cared for Letterman. I liked Letterman's skits, but I was always more of a Conan guy. I was more of a Colbert guy, like the Colbert Report. Jimmy Kimmel just got blasted into the history books over this. And he had literally nothing to do with it. He's like caught up. He's like caught up in the history books right now over just some milquetoast comments. And he was actually I really think he was appropriately characterized for the most part. He really was. Like, people that didn't actually watch the monologue mischaracterized him. But even in that MSN article, like, they kind of contextualized it. Like, that was a pretty good article, but unbelievable. Unbelievable that a guy that he went on TV, he makes $16 million a year. He talks to celebrities for a living. Like, it's a formula that's been used forever. But now it's this. It's this. Our president got his panties in a bunch and is so drunk and high on his own supply that he just thinks that he can snap his fingers and get anyone taken off the television. And TV, it's like, my God. Who the hell is watching TV these days? Who's watching late night television? I'm watching his YouTube clips, sure. I watch Conan's YouTube clips. I watch, Kimmel's YouTube clips. I watch John Oliver. People are watching this on the internet. This goes to show that like the boomers are so out of touch that their boomer king, Trump, thinks that he could snap his fingers and get Jimmy Kimmel taken off the air. It really is like sad and weird in a strange way. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You can't coerce. Like, what sucks is it's like they thought they could. And they probably could have if they would have done it in a more subtle way, but nothing is done subtle anymore. Everything is a tweet storm. Everything is a meme. Everything is an outrage now. That you can't actually do anything subtly anymore. And they could have. Disney could have been like, okay, Daddy Trump. Bob Iger could have met in the Oval Office. Just like admitted it. Okay, we'll get rid of him. Don't worry. And then all the flame would have been on Bob Iger, but it's not. It's kind of on Disney overall. But it's just fun. It's just fun to see there's no adults in the room. But on the other side, like, it really is a situation where you got Zuckerberg just fully capitulating, just saying, "Oh, Daddy, did I say the right amount of money? Did I say the right amount in front of the cameras that you'll give me my tax breaks? You'll give me." It's so ridiculous. Disney slips up. Oh man, Iger has to be cooked now. Like, damn, dude, you had such a misstep that you're not only done at Disney, you might be done in entertainment in general. And that's saying a lot. People hated Eisner, but it was like Eisner oversaw like the Wonderful World at Disney, the greatest days of the Disney Channel, in my opinion. Like, he oversaw some good stuff. You know, Iger is like he's all about that quick buck, and this shows. And now he's seeing that he's kind of beholden to Sinclair and these affiliate magnates that control everything we see. And now he's like, oh shit. What do I do? They're pacing all weekend. And it's like, my one hope is that now that we got a hold of their nips, we just keep twisting them. Just keep twisting those nips. Twist Paramount's nips. Come on. Now they tipped their hand. They can always go back on the idea that they say, well, it wasn't indefinite. It was an indefinite suspension. We never fired him. That gives them wiggle room in terms of the argument, let's say. The idea that they were not trying to stifle free speech, which maybe they weren't. They're doing whatever they think is going to maximize profits. And at the time, they're thinking, well, if we bend over for Trump, it'll maximize our profits. And the funny thing is that in America, you are legally obligated as a CEO to maximize profits. You are legally obligated. That's not a two-way street. You can make judgment calls. You can change directions of companies, but you are legally obligated to maximize profits. And that may have been what they thought they were doing. What they didn't count on was a social media trend. It wasn't a campaign. And if this was a campaign on Warner Brothers, like if some other competing company like launched this, that would be actually chef kiss, like awesome. But I don't think it was. I think that the fact that it caught them off guard. They thought, well, let's get no one's watching Kimmel anyway. Just whatever, get rid of him. It was the timing. It wasn't the fact. Like, that's the funny thing. These right wingers come on. They're like, oh, well, he wasn't even funny. They should have got rid of him. Yeah. Go ahead and get rid of him. But you just had the worst timing imaginable. The worst timing imaginable. The FCC chair comes on and says, nah, this ain't acceptable. and then Disney capitulates, and from pressure from these affiliates and these owner of these affiliates. It's just funny to see that history is stranger than fiction, reality stranger than fiction, and every once in a while you see these things that are so off the wall that it's like, man, is this all orchestrated? Like, what's the ulterior motive here? What is the ulterior motive? I don't think there is one. I think they just let the story get away from them, and then before they could backtrack and try to figure things out and see what was actually going to benefit them, a full weekend went by of people literally saying "F Disney." Literally. That, to me, that's hilarious. Like, that's equal parts hilarious and emboldening. So, yeah, I think this is a great thing if we can see it through. And that can become something that not only is a sign of solidarity and not only a sign of, well, we can vote with our dollars, but that we can see through on a boycott. Because if everyone just signs back up for Disney and Hulu on Tuesday, that's going to be gutless. That's not going to have staying power. You have to pinch their nips, twist, and then kind of spit in their face a little bit. Metaphorically, of course. Metaphorically. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. In the world of social media and how trends can kind of catch on, and they can get away from these huge companies. Disney's a huge company with so many, not just content creation and filmmaking and TV and radio, sports. They have hands in sports betting. They have hands in, every level, like cruises, experiences, theme parks. These are things that all feed into one another, and it makes up Disney. But like Fubo TV, they own Fubo. People need to, I think they're becoming keenly aware of this, but it's so hyper-focused. It's such a microcosm of what's going on. I'm worried they aren't going to see the impact that it actually had. Like, if we could focus this kind of thing on the idea behind universal health care or anti-war rhetoric, or not rhetoric, but like sentiment, just like stop the wars, bring the troops home, train them, feed them, be on watch. If we're going to be the world's policemen, don't be aggressive. Cut the aggressiveness. No, what we did, it's about free speech, which is good. So we got to take the win where we can get the win. We got to take the win where we can get it. And I don't want to discount the win, but it remains to be seen if there's staying power and if we have the wherewithal as Americans to actually see things through, if that makes sense. It hasn't even been a week yet. There's so much steam behind this movement. There's so much oomph behind it, and it made a huge company change their tune in less than a week. Just imagine what people could do. Just imagine if we all worked together and we pushed what we could do. It gives one pause. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. What does it mean to vote with your dollar? What does it mean to boycott? What does it mean to have a general strike? What does it mean to not buy SHIT? You know what I mean? To stay away from consumerism. What does that mean? What implications are there? We don't know because we never tried it. Not in my lifetime. My lifetime has been mired by endless consumerism. Literally, buy it to make you feel better. You can get anything you want. Any cheap gadget, any cheap gizmo from China, anything. You can have it, and it will make you feel better for a little bit of time. I think Gen X knew this, but they still fell into it because things were so good. I think millennials, it's falling off hard. Like, the consumerism, the materialism is falling off hard. And I think Gen Z, man, they're the ones. They're the ones. They're going to be the real flower children. They're going to be the ones that actually reject consumerism because they're going to realize it is a bottomless pit. And that's what it's going to take to change things. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take people literally rejecting consumerism. Stop buying so much shit. Start making everything at home. Hand-me-downs. Secondhand stores. Stop buying shit. That's what it's going to take. Stop tuning in. Stop subscribing. Stop supporting people that literally are working against you. They're working to subjugate you. Gen Z is smart enough. They're so online literate. They're so with it that if they're not like completely brainwashed by the endless amount of propaganda that they're faced with, they will save this country. They will save the United States. I really think that. I'm not ready. I'm not giving up on them. I think they are young enough. They're young enough to change things. They're young enough to imagine a better world, and they're also young enough to change the world. Millennials are so bitter and so like checked out. I don't know if we can actually change the world anymore. I was watching a video the other day, and it said millennials only control 6% of global wealth. That's insane. The oldest millennials are now in their mid-40s. We're not in the driver's seat. We are not in the driver's seat as millennials. Gen Z is going to be the ones. Gen Z is going to, they are going to be, if they can figure things out and they can grab the wheel, they can save it. They can save the world. I swear to God. And things like this Disney boycott and this ridiculous overreach from the federal government to wake people up and kind of like jar them. I would hope that Gen Z can recognize this moment and millennials can kind of guide them and not impart their cynicism, not make Gen Z totally cynical, but just say, watch the fuck out. Watch out. Like, do not fall into despair, but know that your day is coming and you have the power to change it. And then they can teach Gen Alpha on down the road. But it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle. I truly believe that. So can we do it? Can we maintain this air of these boycotts, this kind of thing where we know they will bend to our will over not that much in the scheme of things? They might have lost 2 million subscribers. If that would be insane if they lost 2 million subscribers to Hulu, Disney, ESPN. That'd be amazing. But it's going to come down to staying power. Is everyone just going to tune in to Kimmel and forget about it next week? Possibly. But the whole Colbert thing kind of blew over. Paramount softened the blow, giving it an expiration date. See, that's what Disney could have done. No, they gave Kimmel a timeout, and it was construed as canceling him, which it may have been, may not have been. But it's such a misstep. For people that are like paid billions of dollars to do PR and to soften the blow on all this stuff, it's such a horrible misstep. But they really didn't think that it was going to be that bad. They really didn't think it was going to be a situation where, oh shit, what, like, you know, oof, our stock's going to fall again. Now, it didn't fall today. It bounced up. So maybe there isn't that much power in you know, maybe they've already successfully dissipated the responsibility into shell corps and shit like that. They can dodge responsibility as much as they want. But the brand has been damaged. The brand has been damaged a lot lately. I was talking to a friend the other day. I was like, what is Disney? It's more, it's not really, they're kind of like Electronic Arts now that I think about it. It's like they've become this corporation that just acquires properties and runs them into the ground. If you're a big gamer like I am, you know this is the case with a company like Electronic Arts. They buy companies like BioWare and they ring them out. They just ring them out for everything they're worth, and they toss them aside. You know, and oh man, you know, a couple years since we made a Dragon Age game, better ring it out again. The dead body. And Disney's the same thing with Marvel, Star Wars, all this shit. The magic is gone. What an interesting thing to be faced with. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and just level with you guys. It's just so interesting to see a company crash and burn so hard. Like, they might just shake this off in a few months, but it's just funny they made such a horrible misstep, but they're in a terrible position now. Because it wasn't about Kimmel. It wasn't about tuning into him. It was about the meddling and the regime overstepping, which they are doing in every other facet in the world, you know, in terms of legality and things like that. Our rights are being taken away as fast as they can be. But no, Jimmy Kimmel that's gonna be the thing that stops it all. We'll see. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see that people just start waking up and just being like, man, I can't afford groceries. I can't afford my car insurance. I can't afford my health insurance. I'm done. And just, we head into boycotts. We head into general strikes. We head into peaceful protesting. En masse. They're talking about taking away your Social Security, folks. The money that you have fought for, that you've worked for. They're going to snap it up. Just fight for it. I'm telling you. Just fight for it. And it took 1 weekend of fighting. And we got the mouse to just bend over. Won't bend over to the president. Bent over to the people that pay their bills. The president's just high in his own supply, like I said. Drunk on power. That's it. But the folks at Disney and their affiliates were like, oh man, we can't really make it without these people. So, anyway, keep that in mind. No company can survive without customers. And as long as people they mobilize and they spread awareness in a good way, in an interesting way, in a peaceful way, do anything. People just bent over the biggest entertainment company in the world in less than a week.